Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Holly, and this is Holly Stitches. This is a channel all about cross stitch with some mindless rambling and life updates thrown in for good measure. If this is the first time you're checking out my channel, thank you so much for giving me a chance. And if you're returning here, welcome back. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I'm also known as Colorful Crafting Holly on Instagram, and I will leave a link in the description box so you can find me there and follow me and say hi to me over there. I really appreciate it. Okay, so first of all, I want to get the life update out of the way first, and if I remember, I will try and put like a timestamp of when I start talking about cross stitch, because there's a lot to talk about today. And for those of you who are interested in what's going on in my life, I'll give you a timestamp if I remember. Or you could just fast forward. Anyhow, so first of all, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who commented on my last video and sent me messages and stuff like that, saying that you were happy that I decided not to delete my channel, and just all around being very, very supportive. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Yeah, because, you know, life has been very overwhelming for many people, not just me, but life has been very overwhelming, and it's just nice to know that there are people who are just really nice and kind souls. So thank you so much. Okay, so since the last time I made a video, life update starting now, for those of you who don't want to listen. We had new appliances delivered and installed. This has been an ongoing process. It took from the time roommate Tom, who I mention all the time, actually placed the order like over 3 months ago. So first they say, well, we'll deliver them one day, but we can't install them until the next day. Whatever, we were lucky we had the room to have all of these appliances just sitting in the middle of the room. Installation day comes, one freaking problem after another. Nothing went smoothly. They found after they removed the old oven, they found a hidden electrical box that nobody anticipated, so everything came to a stop, and they had to call an electrician to come and take it out. They couldn't fit the refrigerator through the front door, so they took one of the doors off and they damaged it, and it wouldn't get to temperature. We had to wait another 6 days before the repairman was able to come out and fix it. We had to wait 5 days to use the stove because it was a gas range, but we have propane for the range, so they had to wait for somebody to come and put the little converter thing on it. What else? I think only the dishwasher didn't give us a problem. And when everything stopped, when they were waiting for the electrician to come, which some miracle, Tom was able to get somebody that day, the installer left and said he'd be back in an hour. 4 hours later, he still hadn't come back. So the manager of the appliance store was actually in our house that night at 6 o'clock at night because of everything, and made the installer come back at like 7 o'clock that night. He's like, oh, I didn't realize you wanted me to come back today on a Friday. Like, we would wait until Monday for him to come back. But anyhow, so that was a long process. And in the middle of all of that chaos, roommate Tom was preparing for a colonoscopy. So he was on edge. I continuously worry about everything. So I was on edge. So that just made everything even worse. The day of the colonoscopy, I go downstairs to take the dogs out because we have a backyard, so I just go down to the basement and let them out in the backyard. Basement, water all over the floor in the basement. He's upstairs taking a shower, so I'm like, oh, maybe his shower is leaking. Or he left the sprinklers on and there's a hose or something and there's whatever. So I tell him and his friend, look, cannot find the source of the water anywhere. Ran water everywhere in the house for 45 minutes. No more water. It was like phantom water. Nobody still knows where it came from. Once that was settled and everything seemed to be okay, he loses his wallet. Can't go to a doctor's office without your wallet. Almost an hour and a half it took us to find his wallet. It's just been one thing after another. I'm telling you, it's just nuts. And then we had a big visit at work they just appointed all these new, like, president of the company, the VP, and all these people changed. And so the VP, who had had the job for like 3 days, decides she's going to drive around and visit these stores. And she was telling, or they were saying that she was going to spend 3 hours in each store. That's why she was only going to 3 stores a day. So my boss, who is a jackass, and that's being kind, gets ridiculously just terrible when there's a visit. He's very insecure in his job because he knows that he does a terrible job and that nobody supports him and nobody likes him. So that was 2 days of hell. So, and everything just happened at once. It was just terrible. It was a really, really horrible 2 weeks. Yeah, so that's been my life for the last couple weeks. I really appreciate it. Yeah, you'll notice as you watch my channel, I say I really appreciate it a lot. Just like when I'm at work, I say it's fine all the time. Because constant problems, constant issues I'm having to deal with, and I always say, it's fine. It's fine. Because I'm trying not to get overwhelmed. And it doesn't always work. So there you go. Didn't take quite as long as I thought it would to give you the update. So that's my life. Hopefully you guys are having a much better week. Oh my god. Okay, so let's talk cross stitch. I stitched every single day, which is good. Right now, honestly, the only thing that keeps my mind occupied, well, there's 2 things that keeps my mind occupied, to where I don't let the worries and the stress get to me when I'm at home, and that is cross stitch and watching Schitt's Creek. So I'm very thankful to both of those things over the last month or so, have to say. Okay, so I stitched every day, and focused on a couple pieces more than others because I really wanted a finish. And I have a finish, and then I have 2 kind of tiny little finishes. I'm considering them finishes even though the whole project isn't finished, but a section of them are finished, and gosh darn it, I'm going to take them as finishes. Because it makes me feel accomplished, and it makes me feel like I'm not doing all of this work and getting nowhere. So, I will save the finish for last, but I will show you what I have been working on. Alright, so I had two new starts. I don't believe I had started this when I made my last video. I could be wrong, but regardless, I have some progress on it, so I will show you. And it is another SAL. I don't know when I'm going to learn my lesson. I never do well with SALs, ever. Where's the needle? Oh, the needle's gone. That's divine. Hopefully it's not on the carpet. I think I took the needle out. It is the Book Club SAL. I'm not 100% sure of what the actual SAL is called, but it's really fun and interesting, kind of unique SAL, where you read a book, like a couple chapters, and the sections that are released on the SAL coincide with the sections of the book. So I thought it was really clever, and it's a Halloween one. So it's the Frankenstein Book Club SAL, and there is a Facebook group, and I will try to put the link in the description box. And I always say I'll try, because usually by the time I finish my videos, I completely forget what I talked about and forget to add links. But I'll try to be better about that. But anyhow, it's a monochromatic SAL, and this is what I've done so far. I believe right here is halfway, so it's not that big. I'm hopelessly behind, as usual. I think there's only one more section to be released. But, yeah, I frogged a lot of this. Not really sure why, because this is just a plain old white Aida, 14 count white Aida, that I just had in my stash. I don't really have much of a stash, by the way. I envy all of you people out there who have like boxes and boxes of fabric and stuff. I don't have that. I have a lot of floss, but I don't have a lot of fabric. I wish I had more fabric than I do. Send me fabric, people. I'm just kidding, kind of. Anyhow, like right here, this was all the way down in a straight line, not where my finger went. But this was all the way down. I had to frog that all out because I think I was 2 stitches too far, I believe. So this is an outside border, and this begins the inside border, which is where everything for the sal actually goes. A lot of people have had counting issues with this because evidently the pieces, like the parts that go inside, I really wish I had printed out I actually have it on my phone. Hang on. Yeah, the pieces that go inside the inner border are like right up against each other, so there's no wiggle room for miscounting. So a lot of people have been frogging. So I don't feel so terrible. Let me see if I can get this up here. Where is it? All right. Okay, so this is it. This is, I believe, the first 3 parts. Yeah, there's just one more left. Come on, focus. Not really sure what the guitar has to do with Frankenstein, but, oh, this is terrible. The lighting is awful in here. But anyway, really fun. I like the design. I think it's cool. I like that it's monochromatic. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. And okay, it's Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts presents Stitching Book Club's Frankenstein. Okay, so that's what it is. And like I said, a little bit of progress, not that much, but silly me, I thought this would go very, very quickly because it's not that big and it's all one color, but that's what happens when I assume things. Okay, so next up is, why don't I just show you everything on my phone instead of like scrambling around to try and find pictures of this stuff. Okay, it is the Tiny Modernist Christmas Sal from 2018. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to show up because of the size. God, gosh darn it. It's another thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to curse less. So let's see if I'm... Alright, that's pretty much it. So there you go. This is my first Tiny Modernist project that I've done, and I really like their designs. This is how much I've gotten. For a while there, I was taking it upstairs with me and doing it before I go to bed, but my cat wasn't having it. She does not like being ignored, and she was constantly trying to get into the thread and stuff, so I haven't really worked on it that much. But this is how much I've done. I'm almost done with the bear. That's pretty much what I've done. I've worked on the scarf and the present that he's holding, and that's about it. And this, by the way, is 16 count Crystal Whirlpool from Picture This Plus. It's really nice fabric considering it's 16 count. I don't normally like 16 count. Yeah, we're gonna have a rant about fabric in a couple minutes, so grab some popcorn. But I really like how colorful it is, and I think and this is just fabric that I had, and I think it'll turn out really nice because I love how the colors look on this fabric so far, and I like the sparkles because it's not coming up on camera, but there's like sparkles. So I'm loving this one, and I need to work on it more. Let's put this over here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to save that for last because it involves a rant. Okay, so my next one is another Sal that I am behind on. Of course, I think the last video I did, I was caught up because it only had one part out, and it is the Midnight Way Sal from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is what it looks like. These are the first 3 sections. Number 3 is a bookshop. Tell me how freaking cute that is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I had a really good time doing the first part, and I think it only took me a few days to do it, and it's very fiddly. There's a lot of confetti in this, which is something that Frosted Pumpkin does a lot, because I'm also, well, it's on hold right now, but I'm also doing Animal Almanac. Nothing but confetti. It's kind of why I had to put it down, because it was driving me crazy. But I did the second one, the Cats and Bats store, and so this is what it looks like. Oof, I just poked myself with the needle. Oh, there's 2 needles. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. Yeah, overall, I like how it looks, but I gotta tell you, people, I did not love stitching this second section at all. I had a lot of issues. First of all, I don't like how the cat looks. I don't like the whiskers. I think it looks silly. I mean, I know it's not perfectly stitched. Obviously, it's not perfectly stitched, but I don't like how it looks. And the eye on the right side is it's too close to the whiskers, and it looks like it's like shooting black flames out of his eyeball or something. I don't know, but I played around with it so much, I couldn't do it anymore, and I just decided to leave it the way it was. I don't like the way the animals look in the window. I mean, you have everything's backwards. Okay, this is a fish, obviously, in a aquarium, but I have no idea what this little thing is. It might be a turtle. I have no idea what it is. I don't know. This is a bat over here, which is fine, but it's little things like that that just, I don't know. It makes my OCD just go crazy. So this was not a fun stitch, unfortunately for me. I am looking forward to the bookstore, but I did finish this. It took me a month as compared to a year. This section right here took me a month to do as compared to a week for the first one. I did stick with using the Petite Treasure braid, which is in the Cats and Bats sign, but I used all of the Petite Treasure braid that came with the kit that I got from them, and I am not getting any more. I will use that Etoile, the black Etoile, for the rest of it. I'm just not. I don't like it. It's too fiddly, and I think it's a waste of money because it should last a lot longer. And I wasn't the only one who complained about it, so it's not just my ineptitude at using it. A lot of people didn't like it. Also, I did screw up in this. The rest of the sign that wasn't the Petite Treasure braid was actually supposed to be gray, and I didn't realize it, and I just used regular black. But I still like how it turns out, you know. Because look at the first one, the happy little witch and the happy little pumpkin and the birds. I don't really like how the birds turned out, but the pumpkin and everything is so cute. And meanwhile, I've got Frankenstein the cat over here and a fucking mystery animal that I have no idea what it is. So, but I'm happy that I didn't give up on it because that's one of my my goals is to try and stop giving up on projects and just try and get finishes. Because why am I doing this? I don't want to frustrate myself because sometimes I feel like I'm doing a lot of work and I don't have very many finishes. But anyhow, moving on. Okay. Now this I can't remember. I don't think I had started this the last time I made a video. Could be wrong, but it is. Get it up on my phone. If I do this, it's going to turn sideways, right? Yeah, of course. All right, well, I don't have a picture to show you because it's sideways. It is the Advent animals, which many people have talked about. I've can't remember the name of the YouTuber, I really apologize, who first introduced me to this. It is a free, it was a SAL, but it was, I think it was from 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. It was a free SAL that was released as sections, and there's 25 sections with 25 different animals. And the one that made me, the video that I saw that made me have to do it was Lindy Stitches, because she did hers and it looked so amazing. Of course, I'm a Lindy Stitchers fangirl. I just think she's amazing. But yeah, I'm using a piece of fabric that I'm really, really hoping is going to fit all 25. If it doesn't, I have another piece of fabric that I can use for the rest of them. I've seen other people do that, where they do some on one piece of fabric and some on another. Really wanted to try and get everything on one, but we will see. I think it'll fit. I'm hopeful that it'll fit. But so I am counting the first section of this as one of my finishes. I did this in 2 days. 2 days. And I just absolutely freaking love stitching this. It's so much fun, so relaxing. Oh, look how cute! I can't see. Okay. That's Katie Kitty. And then next to her is part of Peter Polar Bear. But yeah, I did Katie in like 2 days. I'm so proud of myself. That's the fastest I've stitched anything. I just couldn't stop. And, you know, it's just, I just love it. And each animal, I think, gets progressively cuter and cuter as you go through them. And, yeah, this is just a regular piece of blue 14 count Aida. This is the same fabric that I'm using for my giant Harry Potter piece, so it's very stiff, but I actually don't mind stiff fabric. But I love how it's turning out, and I plan on working on this later today, and maybe hopefully getting Peter done by the time I go back to work on Tuesday. So yeah, unlike Lindy Stitches and other people I've seen, I have decided not to have the space between because, like I said, I'm trying to fit 5 in a row. I'm hopeful that I will be able to fit 5 because the fabric is more than long enough. It's just the width that I'm worried about. So I figured if I did a single line between, that would help with space. So there you go. I love this so much. This has by far been the most fun stitch that I've done yet. And I'm very grateful to that nameless YouTuber that I really wish I could remember her name, who introduced me to this because I had never even heard of it before. So put this over here. Okay, now we're gonna have a little bit of a rant, and I do have the picture of this. And this is, you know, speaking of Lindy Stitches, I have nothing against her. Obviously, like I said, I love her designs. This has nothing to do with the design. It has to do with me and my fabric choices, I guess. But I finally started. Let me take this out. I finally started Dracula's Confession by Lindy Stitches. Originally, I was going to do this one first because I had the floss and the fabric for it, but I decided to wait and do this one first because this one was my favorite, the one that I was really excited to do. Thought it would be a super fast stitch, and it probably will if I didn't have so many problems. I got Pattern Keeper specifically to do this pattern. It's gorgeous. It's freaking gorgeous. Yeah, okay, so I have an issue with 32 count fabric, I guess, because I worked on another project using 32 and it was a nightmare. I haven't tried anything higher than 36. Don't remember having an issue with 36, but for whatever reason, 32 count kicks my butt. This fabric, this piece of fabric, which I did it on the called for fabric, which is murky, it's not, and this is going to sound ridiculous because I know a ton of people use this count and they have no problems with it, but it's like it's not even the holes. It's not even the smallness of the holes. It's that they're not even, and it's driving me crazy. I guess I'm so used to working on 28 count even weave where everything lines up, that it turns my brain around. And I feel embarrassed saying this because I know so many people love 32 count and love this fabric in particular, but it is kicking my butt. I made so many mistakes. I just finished it. I just started it yesterday. And according to Pattern Keeper, like after 2.5 hours of sitting there and doing the stitching and counting and ripping it out and doing it again, it took me like almost 2 hours to do like 35 stitches. That's how many problems I was having. And then I felt like I was in the groove and I was getting better at it. And then I get to a section and I realize I'm like way off on counting. Way off. It wasn't even a little thing that you could fudge. I was way off. And I ripped it out and it took me like an hour to rip it out. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. So I'm either going to, my first, because I love the fabric so much, I think it's so pretty. And, you know, my first idea was to, because it's more than long enough, flip it over and try again. Just not rip anything else out. Just flip the fabric over and start at the other end. This is all I was able to get done. I actually got more done, but I had to rip it all out. Like this whole thing, these stars, there was 2 more over here. I had to rip both of them out because they were way off on the count. Yeah, and I probably shouldn't have started in this corner because it's the most fiddly of the project. I probably should have just started in the middle and maybe started with the bat. I don't know. But I just thought it made sense to start over there, and it's been such a headache. Oh my God. It makes my brain hurt just thinking about it. I actually saw a finished one on Facebook of somebody who did it on a lighter fabric, and I think she used like 16 count. I know 16 count, 16 count, 32 count, basically the same thing. And I'm not a huge fan of 16 count normally, but I think it might just be the linen. Maybe I'm just not meant to work on linen. My brain just doesn't understand like how to do the holes on linen. And if that makes me an idiot, then I guess I'm an idiot. But this is supposed to be a fun hobby, and I have enough stuff that stresses me out. But I think what I'm going to do, not today. Today I'm going to work on my cute little animals. What I'm going to do is I am going to try to flip the fabric over and just start again. Maybe start in the middle and work my way out, because maybe it would be easier to count these sections if I have something to like bounce it off of. So we will see. It's just disappointing because I was so excited to start this. But so that's my sad tale regarding this whip. I do have a little bit of haul before I show you my finish. I got 2 project bags, both from Cross Stitch D-Stash on Facebook. And these are my 2 very first project bags. And I think I started something I really shouldn't have started, because I am buckling down. I am not buying anything else. Having said that, Joyful Stitches here on Flosstube, she has a D-Stash channel or page on Instagram. And I was on yesterday and oops, accidentally said me please for this bunch of variegated satin floss. So that's the last thing I'm gonna buy. But I'm like buckling down. I haven't bought patterns. I haven't done anything. I'm trying to be good. The struggle is real. It's hard, because every time you go online, I see more and more stuff that I want, but I'm purposely I'm making myself not buy it, because I've spent way too much money. And next month is my birthday, and I'm trying to convince roommate Tom to just get me a gift card. Get me a gift card for 1-2-3 Stitch. Get me just a plain old gift card, like a Visa gift card, so I can buy cross-stitch stuff, because that's all I want. I just want to buy cross-stitch stuff. I don't want like a little gadget or whatever. I'm grateful for the stuff that he always tries to spoil me on my birthday, but that's what I want. Just give me a gift card, please. because there's so much stitchy goodness that I want. But anyway, these are the two project bags that I got. And I saved the card from both of them so I would remember to give them credit. This is from Cozy Old Quilts. Look at it. Look at it. It's so, I love it so much. And the inside, this is the one that I'm using for Dracula's Confession. Because even the fabric, you know, everything's matchy. I love it. But this, and it's so well made, and it's so soft, and I love it so much. So thank you so much. And then this one, this is by Joyful Stitching, and it's called I Woof You. This is so me. Anything to do with animals, especially dogs or cats. And look at the, oh, it's so, I'm just in awe of all these people who can make these project bags, because I really wish I could sew. Because if I could sew, I would make my own. But I'm not that talented. Granted, I don't have a sewing machine. But when I was younger, my mom tried to teach me how to sew, and it did not go well. So, anyway. Okay, so I think that's everything except for my finish. So, yes, I am very, 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 very proud to have this as a finish, because there were a couple times there when I was getting frustrated and I really thought that it was never going to happen. But it did. And it's not perfect, but I love it. And I think it's very, very cute. This is Beach Dance by Lindy Stitches, and these are the adorable blue-footed booby birds that are just so cute. If you don't know what blue-footed boobies are, Google them. Watch videos on Amazon, or not Amazon, on YouTube, because they literally dance when they're doing, that's how they mate. That's their mating call. They dance for their partner. I love it so much. I changed the, this is 16 count blue. I don't know, it's not really showing a blue on here. 16 count blue Aida. And again, maybe I've turned the tide with 16 count, because again, didn't hate working on this fabric. But I did change the color of the bottom flowers because the blue that was called for kind of blended in too much into the fabric, and I like the pink. So, like I said, not perfect. I did make mistakes, especially with this guy over here. His wing is off on the bottom, and there's some issues here too. But overall, I'm extremely happy with this. I'm very proud of being able to finish it, and I love it to death. I just have to frame it. Yeah, so this is like the last video that I did. I showed you my little finish, which is one of the small little birthday presents I'm going to give Tom. But this is the first like normal size project that I finished in months. So that's partially why it means so much to me. So I'm very, very happy with this. And I'm excited because I think Lindy Stitches, I think Steph is getting ready to release a couple more patterns, and I think one of them involved penguins, and penguins are my favorite animal of all time. So I might have to break my no buying ban, if that's true. Because if it's a penguin, I have to have it. Yeah, okay, so that's it, you guys. That's what I've been working on over the last couple weeks. And that's pretty much it. I thank you very much if you've made it to the end of the video. You're such a trooper. I love you to death. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comment box. I just remembered something. I did get one other thing. As I think I've mentioned before, my eyes are terrible. So I always have to use some kind of magnification for cross stitch. So I saw this as an ad on Facebook, and I bought it. And it's one of these little visor thingies, and actually it comes with 5 different magnification lenses. The lenses go here, but it's out on the back deck. But there's 5 different levels. I think it goes from 1 to 3.5, and it also has a light. This particular one, the light's not really working, and this company, which is called Neat and Handy, or handyandneat.com, I messaged them through Facebook and said, listen, the light only works if it's plugged into the charging cable. No questions asked. Actually, all they had to do, they asked me for my order number. They're sending me another one. So that's really great customer service. So if you guys need anything like this, and I was using it without the light last night, and it helped so much, because I'm usually like hunched over with my magnifying lamp, and it's not the most comfortable position to be in. Yeah, so I highly recommend these. As long as I get the replacement. If they like screw me over and don't send me anything, then maybe I won't be so on board with them. But for the magnification alone, it's worth it. Just have a light. Yeah, so, and it moves back and forth. You can put it in any position that you want. I took the whatever off to use this, because this way I can put it and use it right over my glasses, which is very handy. So you might look ridiculous, and I know I do, but it helps. And that's what's important. So I just wanted to mention that before I go. So anyway, that's it for me, you guys. Thank you so much again for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them for me in the comment section. I love getting comments. It always makes me smile. I will say, when I put out my last video, within like 10 minutes of putting it up, I had 2 thumbs down, and I lost like 4 subscribers, which was kind of disheartening, I will admit. But everybody that came after was very, very sweet. And yeah, so anyhow, I feel like I'm forgetting to mention something that I wanted to talk to you guys about, but it'll have to wait for the next time, I guess. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate all the support and kind words. That's what we need to do. We need to be more kind to each other, especially now. So until next time, you guys, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Try to enjoy the rest of September, leading into fall, which is my favorite time of the year. And until next time, I've said until next time about 10 times now. Happy stitching, you guys. Bye.